Yo, this your boy Pomatic. Back at you with Godspeed TV, live out of Chicago. Shouts out to hoodx.com, Native Minds, SFL in the tank, SFL Music, for Big Boy Bros. Tonight we gonna go back into the files of I Am Rock. And I don't know, we might have a couple of visitors on the show. And this is an episode of I Am Raw Material Non-Drift. Let's go.
I Am Raw is well with us. We proceed now with the third area of teach learning concerning the development of the energy powers of healing.
What he mean is teach learning. They learning from teaching. And we supposed to be teaching from learning. You see what I'm saying? So you can find knowledge in anybody, and it's called teach learning. That's when you have a higher degree. First you start off thinking you know everything, trying to teach. And you get so far up you can't learn from nobody. So now you gotta learn from that's what you teach. To teach learn. We're gonna see what Rod said though.
The third area is the spiritual complex, which embodies the fields of force and consciousness, which are the least distorted of your mind, body, spirit complex.
Imagination, aka.
The exploration and balancing of the spirit complex is indeed the longest and most subtle part of your learned teaching. We have considered the mind as a tree.
Imagination is a spiritual brain. So spirituality takes the brain and thinks outside of itself through imagination. Y'all got a partner.
Consciousness, which are the least distorted of your mind, body, spirit complex. The exploration and balancing of the spirit complex is indeed the longest and most subtle part of your learned teaching. We have considered the mind as a tree. The mind controls the body. With the mind single-pointed, balanced, and aware, the body comfortable in whatever biases and distortions make it appropriately balanced for that instrument, the instrument is then ready to proceed with the great work. That is the work of wind and fire. The spiritual body energy field is a pathway or channel.
Guess what's saying that? I'm gonna bring in my boy Flight Boss because he did say something. Shouts out to Flight Boss. He did say something slick about this energy that's on the earth, and I learned from listening to him. It puts you in a Zazel frame of mind where you the scapegoat. But here we go. Let's hear Flight Boss.
Because you might even manifest a full moon scenario in your life even before the motherfucking full moon in Aquarius. So peep motherfucking game. So right now we got the sun, and then we're gonna break this down in everybody's house. I'm gonna break down how this trine is playing out in your areas of your life, and how this motherfucking grand square is playing out in your motherfucking life, so you can know what you're learning right now. Because whatever that you're learning, the grand square is gonna take you through an emotional explosion, aka that trine.
When body and mind are receptive and open, then the spirit can become a functioning shuttle or communicator from the entity's individual energy of will upwards, and from the streamings of the creative fire and wind downwards. The healing ability, like all other, what this instrument would call paranormal abilities, is affected by the opening of a pathway or shuttle into intelligent infinity. There are many upon your plane who have a random hole or gateway in their
He's talking about the Henrietta Etta files, the black lady with the cells that live forever. I think I'm saying her name right. But just imagine that. She was the gateway.
Spirit energy field, sometimes created by the ingestion of chemicals such as what this instrument would call LSD, who are able, randomly and without control, to tap into energy sources.
So what he's saying is, without the, I did a video about LSD and spirituality. Spirituality is like being off LSD. So if a lot of people who take LSD see what we see, but we got a cloak, a veil over it so we won't freak out. You see what I'm saying? But you can't see through feeling. It's still there. Even though the visual with the feel is still there. Go ahead, Rob.
They may or may not be entities who wish to serve. The purpose of carefully and consciously opening this channel is to serve in a more dependable way, in a more commonplace or usual way, as seen by the distortion complex of the healer. To others there may appear to be miracles. To the one who has carefully opened the door to intelligent infinity, this is ordinary, this is commonplace, this is as it should be. The life experience becomes somewhat transformed and the great work goes on. At this time we feel
the incarnation. Okay, well, let's see what he's talking about. Flight boss.
So when we have a trine between the sun, moon, and Neptune, this may not necessarily be a beneficial trine if per se it was the sun and Venus, or if it was the moon and Saturn and Neptune. You know what I'm saying? This is the sun and the moon. So the moon is our reactions, who we are, what makes us feel comfortable, our Merkaba. The sun is what shields that, what protects that. It's what we choose to show. It's how we want to be seen. It's how we may view the world in some way, shape, or form. So
distortions. That's what I would say.
These exercises suffice for your beginning. We will, at a future time, when you feel you have accomplished that which is set before you, begin to guide you into a more precise understanding of the functions and uses of this gateway and the experience of healing.
So the sun is our wants, the moon is our needs, and then Neptune is our delusions, our imagination, things we have faith in and things of that nature. So for the most part with this trinity, we have a gift to act and react to our emotions. Act and react to our imagination, to our delusions, to our illusion. So right now, we in some type of fantasy about what's going on in our circumstance right now. We may come up with some type of emotional reaction to make us feel comfortable with acting towards whatever delusion that we are in at the moment.
Distortions.
Question 6.2. Questioner, I've been asked if it is possible for Tom Flaherty to attend one of these communication sessions tomorrow. I'm familiar with the entity, Tom Flaherty. Answer.
What he asked me is, can I bring my boy Tom Hardy to the spot? He like, damn, that's the Doubting Thomas under the Bible Act.
I am Ra. This mind, body, spirit complex, sound vibration, Tom Flaherty, is acceptable. We caution you to carefully instruct this entity in the frame of mind and various appurtenances which you must understand before it is conducted into the circle. Question 6.3. Question, I'm not quite sure what you mean by appurtenances. I was referring to the symbolic objects which trigger this instrument's distortions towards love light. The placement and loving acceptance of them by all present is important in the nurturing of this instrument. Therefore, the appurtenances involved must be described and their presence explained in your own words at each learning, for you have the proper attitude for the required results.
Okay. Let's see.
Moment. So this could be an emotional explosion because it's in water, aka cardinal, mutable, and fixed ways of dealing with our emotions and feelings. And that's what we all have a gift to do right now. And that may not be as logical as it's supposed to be at the moment, because you may jump into a situation without falling back and observing. So you might try to connect or absorb or submerge yourself into a circumstance without knowing what kind of waters it is.
What's going on here? It's my Uncle Sonny. He said, nephew, I had my daddy and your brother, your daddy, my brother mad at me. My daddy shot at the Chevelle. I'm on my way to Bright Lights to Chicago, and your daddy over there whining with his panties in the punch.
Question 6.4. Question, I think this might be an appropriate time to include a little more background on yourself, possibly information having to do with where you came from prior to your involvement with planet Earth. If this is...
You're asking me, Rob, what's up? How you get here? What's going on?
Possible. Answer, I am Ra. I am with the social memory Hold
on, let me pause. They say, well, why you do what you do when you do what you do? I do everything like Bruce Lee. I make an impact, make a fence. I don't worship none of that shit, but I am that which that is. The sum and total mean of the accumulation of knowledge over the earth has been put into me. I am the spiritual guru.
Complex of which I am a part, one of those who voyaged outward from another planet within your own solar system, as this entity would call it. The planetary influence was that you call Venus. We are a race old in your measures. When we were at the sixth dimension, our physical beings were what you would call gold.
Hold on. What did you say?
hot waters, cold waters, you know what I'm saying, subtle waters, chaotic waters, you know what I'm saying? So we motherfucking game. So we got the sun in Cancer and we got the moon in Scorpio right now. This is deep and dark moods. So right now we all going to be in some type of energies where it's either deep, so that can be positive, or dark, that can be negative. But it's going to be a mood that we're transitioning through at the moment. And you know what I'm saying? If you have a lot of motherfucking air and fire in your chart, this may not be something you know how to deal with sufficiently. So you may be on the opposite end, or you may on the opposite end of energy and be the individuals that others can sit back and eat popcorn and look at a motherfucker making a whole bunch of mistakes.
Wait, Flight, what it? No, not today. I'm putting on Sunny. This show is called Fences. I ain't got it like you. I gotta put the food on your food, the shoes on your. You live what the fuck you mean like?
We were tall and somewhat delicate. Our physical body complex covering, which you call the integument, had a golden luster. In this form we decided to come among your peoples. Your peoples at that time were much unlike us in physical appearance, as you might call it. We, thus, did not mix well with the population and were obviously other than they.
Obviously other than them.
You see what I'm saying? Big goddess, free evolution, let's say dark out. Expansion Jones. That's one of the Jones I will follow. Expansion. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you better believe it. Well, one of the Joneses I will keep up with. That's the term. Keeping up with the Joneses. But other than that, this is deep or dark moods. So all of us is going to be either in a deep or dark mood in some way, shape, or form. Then we got Sun, Trine, Neptune. Seeing an illusion for what it is. So
okay.
Thus, our visit was relatively short, for we found ourselves in the hypocritical position of being acclaimed as other than your other selves. This was the time during which we built the structures in which you show interest. Question 6.5. Questioner, how did you journey from Venus to this planet? Ra, we used thought. Question.
Use thought. Thought transference. We use thought.
So right now, we all going to be trying to sit back and see an illusion for what it is. But like I said, with this grand trine, it might force us to act on it. And we might act on a delusion ahead of time before thinking we have seen it for what it was. And then it might not still be what it is because it's a delusion. It's Neptune still. So always keep that in mind.
Question 6.6. Questioner, would it have been possible to have taken one of the people of this planet at the time and placed him on Venus? Would he have survived? The conditions on Venus hospitable? Ra, the third density conditions are not hospitable to the life forms of your peoples. The fifth and sixth dimensions of that planetary sphere are quite conducive to growing learning teaching. Question 6.7.
We at the fourth. We're the third trying to get to the fourth. Lower fourth. It's not habitable to us.
Questioner, how were you able to make the transition from Venus? Did you have to change your dimension to walk upon the earth? Ra, you will remember the exercise of the wind. The dissolution into nothingness is the dissolution into unity, for there is no nothingness. From the sixth dimension, we are capable of manipulating, by thought, the intelligent infinity present in each part.
Going into your DNA.
Particle of light for distorted light so that we were able to clothe our
DNA is manifest light.
Selves in a replica visible in the third density of
I don't know what stage though, maybe 1, 2, 3, but it ain't no farther than that. Anything other than that is blood. Light pulse, church.
Our mind, body, spirit complexes in the sixth density. We were allowed this experiment by the council which guards this planet. Question 6.8. Questioner, where is this council located? Ra, this council is located in the octave or eighth dimension of the planet Saturn.
Saturn moon matrix? And they create this, Ra?
Then we have motherfucking Sun opposed Pluto. Seeing transformation as scary. So right now, we may all be in a situation where we may see transformation as a little scary. You might have your own little fixated way of doing things, your own little fixated routine, pattern. But the universe is calling for you to switch up. The universe is calling for you to transform. The universe is calling for you to take more power and control. What the fuck is that?
So this is what happened when his forces moving correct. By the way, he got Indian in his blood. He's Indian. I'm Cherokee. I do the Indian circle counterclockwise dance, and when, like I said in one of my videos, I cry, and I'm not crying because I'm a bitch, it's crying because I'm keeping killing the nigga ring and I'm releasing all that pain. Or I'm gonna do 100 push-ups till I sweat and then it's gonna rain.
Taking its place in an area which you understand in third-dimensional terms as the rings. Question 6.9. Questioner, are there any people such as you find on Earth or on any of the other planets in our solar system? Ra, do you request space-time present information or space-time continuum information? Question 6.
You don't understand. Your version of time is can you limit infinity? That's what I'm trying to figure out how to talk.
Point 10. Questioner, both. Ra, at one time space, in what is your past, there was a population of third-density beings upon a planet which dwelt within your solar system.
And you're going to talk about Orion and the reptiles under the earth and how they got there. The snakes, the.
There are various names by which this planet has been named. The vibratory sound complex most usually used by your peoples is Moldek. These entities, destroying their planetary sphere, thus were forced to find room for themselves upon this third density, which is the only one in your solar system at their time-space present which was hospitable and capable of offering the lessons necessary to decrease their mind, body, spirit distortions with respect to the law of one.
Okay. And understanding that, they destroyed their spot, so now they're here, and
the universe is calling for you to take power and control over these circumstances and situations. And the more that you look at these things, it might be things that you look at as it ain't something I need to pay attention to, or it might be things that you might look at like I don't want to handle that at the moment. AKA it's scary or something you don't want to take power and control over at the moment, but eventually you're gonna have to. So for the most part, the universe is pushing us into that energy with the sun opposing Pluto. You can't run away from transformation at this moment. You can't run away from things and let it get out of hand. You got to take power and control over these things right now, or you're going to create a motherfucking monster in some way, shape, or form. And that could be within your relationship. That could be within your jobs. That could be within your day-to-day living conditions, however the day may be. Now,
meaning.
Question 6.11. Questioner, how did they come here? Ra, they came through the process of harvest and were incarnated through the processes of incarnation from your higher spheres within this density. Question 6.12. Questioner, how long ago did this happen? Ra, I am having difficulty communicating with this instrument.
Balance
we must deepen her state.
Fix them.
She's
falling asleep. This is how I feel when God trying to communicate with you through the land and you fall asleep. I am having trouble communicating with this instrument. Go pray or whatever you do, do your ceremony and then line back up.
Occurred approximately 500,000 of your years ago. Question 6.13. Questioner, is all of the Earth's human population then originally from Moldek? Answer, I am Ra. This is a new line of questioning and deserves a place of...
Right, like, okay. Got the right questions, I got the right answers.
...of its own. The ones who were harvested to your sphere from the sphere known before its dissolution as other names, but to your peoples as Moldek, incarnated, many within your Earth's surface rather than upon it. The population of your planet contains many various groups harvested from other sectors.
Reptilian dragon, the Petrius, 13 Zodiac. The one that holds a dragon, right here, like that. Like
dimension and cycle, third dimension spheres. You are not all one race or background of beginning. The experience you share is unique to this time-space continuum.
Everybody got to come together as one. So far he's telling you about how something incarnated on this earth, and it's the flood and the wave of this.
Now, for the most part, we also have Moonshine and Mercury. Feeling comfortable with how you think about shit. So right now, we all gonna feel comfortable with how we think about shit, but a lot of things that we thinking about is delusion. Neptunian type shit. So be careful. Like I said, I gotta keep repeating. We got that grand trine going on right now.
I know.
Also,
3 of us.
We got Moon Square Saturn. Learning how to respond to reality. So for the most part, we're gonna learn how to respond realistically, because that delusion gonna lead you into reacting, responding into a way a person, place, or thing gonna show you that's not realistic, or you may be in a circumstance where you just automatically know because you're spiritually inclined. You watch my channel, you're part of the subconscious community, you're part of the soul group, so you automatically know how to check yourself. So you automatically know how to see things from reality basis before you get too far into letting your thoughts and your feelings control whatever your spirit's supposed to always be the driver. You're never supposed to put these things on autopilot. You're never supposed to put your motherfucking car, your spaceship, however the fuck you want to call it, on auto drive in some way, shape, or form. Learn. It's always good to be smooth and, you know what I'm saying, every now and then, you know what I'm saying, and look good, but every now and then, you know that you can't trust all machines. You know what I'm saying? Our phones be fucking up, our tablets be fucking up, these new kind of cars and shit be fucking up. So every now and then, we know that Jesus can't fully take the wheel. Sometimes.
Can't fully take the wheel.
The law of one states simply that all things are one, that all beings are one. There are certain behaviors and thought forms consonant with the understanding and practice of this law. Those who, finishing a cycle of experience, demonstrate various grades of distortion of that understanding of thought and action will be separated by their own choice into the vibratory distortion most comfortable to their mind, body, spirit complexes. This process is guarded or watched by those nurturing beings who, being
separate the wheat from the chaff, you know, the separation, the time of, you know, the separation, as he was saying in the fifth situation.
Very close to the law of one in their distortions, nevertheless have the distortion towards active service. Thus, the illusion is created of light, or more properly but less understandably, light love. This is in varying degrees of intensity. The spirit complex of each harvested entity moves along the line of light until the light grows too glaring, at which time the entity stops.
Too much light will blind a motherfucker in the night.
Sometimes we're gonna have to take the wheel also. Sometimes we're gonna have to recheck the phone also. Sometimes we're gonna have to delete a lot of shit out of our tablets and computers also, ourselves, and things of that nature. But that's besides the fact. But like I said, with Moon trying to Mercury, just gonna be feeling comfortable with how we think about shit. You just want to make sure that you're not feeling too comfortable with some miscellaneous ass motherfucker delusion that you got in your mind due to the fact of this motherfucking grand trine we got going on in the sky of the sun, moon, and Neptune. Now also we got Moon square Saturn. Learning how to I said that. Moon square Uranus. Learning how to respond to change. So right now we all have to learn how to respond to change also. This could be radical. This could be very chaotic. This could put us all into a situation where you might feel like you have to be rebellious, and if you're a kind of passive aggressive type of person, you don't necessarily like to be aggressive. So put yourself into a situation of frustration right now because you looking at your scenario like the only way I can change it if I do a little form of rebellion. If I do be a little argumentative, if I do show this person that I don't agree with everything, that's going to be the only way that things could get to a space that I kind of wanted to be in. Otherwise, this circumstance is going to be unbalanced. So for the most
balance,
this entity may have barely reached third density or may be very, very close to the ending of the third density light love distortion vibratory complex.
Right,
Nevertheless, those who fall within this octave of intensifying light love then experience a major cycle during which the opportunities are many for the discovery of the distortions which are inherent in each entity and, therefore, the lessening of these distortions.
What he's saying is pay attention when something is waking you up. The light is bright for a reason.
Question 6.15. Questioner, what is the length in our years of one of these cycles? One major cycle is approximately 25,000 of your years. There are 3 cycles of this nature during which those who have progressed may be harvested at the end of 3 major cycles. That is, approximately between 75 and 76,000 of your years. All are harvested regardless of their progress, for during that time the planet itself has moved through the useful part of that dimension and begins to cease being useful for the lower levels of vibration within that density.
No more lower level bullshit, no more arguing, fussing, and fighting. This is what
this part. That's the situation that we're dealing with also with this energy. Motherfucking Moon squaring Uranus. So make sure that your emotions don't get overthrown by what you think you have to do, what you feel you have to do. You don't really have to do shit. Sometimes you can just sit back and let time go and things of that nature. Even though there's other alignments telling us to take power and control, sometimes you need to take power and control over how the fuck you think and how you feel. And to times you be in energies, Salja Jabari love, you could be in certain energies and you think you have to do something right away. You think however you feel right now got to be expressed right away, and that might be an expression of you not having power and control over a situation or a circumstance at the moment. So just you managing your feelings might be a situation of you taking power and control. So look at each portion of your life so you don't pinpoint this Pluto energy in the wrong area.
Question 6.16. Questioner, what is the position of this planet with respect to the progression of cycles at this time? Answer, I am Ra. This sphere is at this time in fourth dimension vibration. Its material is quite confused due to the society memory complexes embedded in its consciousness. It has not...
False. What Ra is saying is this material is of the lower fourth, being the three-dimensional, two is animal, one is instinct, vegetable. I'm of a, what could I say? This might be my last incarnation as a fourth, three-dimensional being. I might come back in lower fourth. Maybe calling people like that Lucifer. But hey, at least he's trying to all bad work for the good.
Made an easy transition to the vibrations which beckon. Therefore, it will be fetched with some inconvenience. Question 6.17. Questioner, is this inconvenience imminent within a few years? Answer, I am Ra. This inconvenience, or disharmonious vibratory complex, has begun several of your years in the past. It shall continue unabated for a period of approximately 30 of your years. Question 6.18. Questioner, after this period of 30 years I am assuming that this will be a fourth density planet. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is so. Question 6.19. Questioner, is it possible to estimate what percent of the present population will inhabit the fourth density planet? Ra, the harvesting is not yet, thus estimation is meaningless.
But for the most part, we also got Moon trine Neptune, the gift of responding to your imagination. This is another thing right now. See, we all in some type of imagination, and that could all be a form of delusion. That could all be a form of a foundation to something that we got faith in, and it's something that we believe in, but it is something that's not even true, or it's something that's catering to our ego, or it's something that's just a delusion. So we have to be careful with this energy also. It's a lot of self-delusion going on right now, where we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors, but we're expressing something else. So we have to be careful. It's very the water tides, the moon vibes is very high right now. That if you get washed up under the current, you could be seen as fake or phony. You could be seen as a person that's indecisive in the wrong kind of areas. And anytime you're a person that's indecisive in the wrong areas, this is what makes other people look at you as fake or phony in some way, shape, or form.
Question 6.20. Questioner, does the fact that we are in this transition period now have anything to do with the reason that you have made your information available to the population? Answer, I am Ra. We have walked among your people. We remember sorrow. We have seen much. We have searched for an instrument of the proper parameters of distortion in mind, body, spirit complex.
And they call chosen one. They call whoever can absorb this information.
And supporting and understanding group of mind, body, spirit complexes to accept this information with minimal distortion and maximal desire to serve for some of your years. The answer, in short, is yes. However, we wish you to know that in our memory we thank you. Question 6.21. Questioner, the disc-shaped craft that we call UFOs, some have been said to have come from the planet Venus. Would any of these be your craft? Answer.
Because if you was real, you wouldn't be indecisive in these areas that other people think you should be sure in some way. So it's okay to be indecisive in certain circumstances that we may be unsure, we may need help, but it's not okay to be indecisive in something that you keep repeating over and over again. You know what I'm saying? You know that you don't like motherfucking the tater tots from motherfucking Chick-fil-A, but your motherfucking ass keep wanting to go there and shit like that for other miscellaneous reasons and shit like that. So that's an ongoing repeat over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
Say, I am Ra. We have used crystals for many purposes. The craft of which you speak have not been used by us in your space-time present memory complex. However, we have used crystals in the bell shape in the past of your illusion. Question 6.22. Questioner, how many years in the past did you use the bell-shaped craft to come to Earth? Answer, I am Ra. We visited your peoples 18,000 of your years ago and did not land again 11,000 years ago. Question 6.23. Questioner, photographs of bell-shaped craft and reports of contact of such from Venus exist from less than 30 years ago. Do you have any knowledge of these reports? Answer, I am Ra. We have knowledge of oneness with these forays of your time-space present. We are no longer of Venus. However, there are thought forms created among your peoples from our time of walking among you. The memory and thought forms created therefrom are a part of your society memory complex. This mass consciousness, as you may call it, creates the experience once more for those who request such experience. The present Venus population is no longer sixth density.
But other than that, yeah, we got motherfucking Mercury trine Neptune, the gift of thinking clearly about delusion. So right now, see, that's not always positive with Mercury having a positive aspect to Neptune. Because, yeah, you might could think clearly about a delusion, but you're thinking all day about a delusion in the first place. So you're having all these other ideas that can get you lost into that delusion in some way, shape, or form. So you got to be, it's a lot of things that's drifting us off into Neptune la la land. So we got to be careful during this particular time.
He said, we are not the Venus anymore.
Question 6.24. Questioner, do any of you FOS presently reported at this time come from other planets, or do you have this knowledge? Ra, I am one of the members of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator. They are approximately 53 civilizations, comprising approximately 500 planetary consciousness complexes in this confederation. This confederation contains those from your own planet who have attained dimensions beyond your third. It contains planetary entities within your solar system, and it contains planetary entities from other galaxies. It is a true confederation in that its members are not alike, but allied in service according to the law of one.
It's a lot of things drifting us off into La La Land. We could get in La La Land. And here's the thing: all of these is your mind. All in the
service of the law.
All of these chakras is your eyes. And you, as a spirit, if you know how to see the world through all of these things, you can know and catch yourself when you're lost in one of these things, lost in one of these chakras, lost in one of these worldviews. Shout out to Goddess Essence Energy, Soul Group, Chris Valentine, Ken. So keep that in mind. So you got to be careful, because you can create an imagination in one of these chakras and then overthink about it, and then before you even come back to center yourself into your solar plexus, you then jumped into your solar plexus and then allow that solar plexus to pay attention to one of your other chakras. Shout out to Sammy Sensation Soul Group.
Question 6.25. Questioner, do any of them come here at this time in spacecraft? In the past, say, 30 years? Answer, I am Ra. We must state that this information is unimportant. If you will understand this, we feel that the information may be acceptably offered. The law of one is what we are here to express. However, we will speak upon this subject.
Let's go.
Each planetary entity which wishes to appear within your third-dimensional space-time distortion requests permission to break quarantine, as you may call it, and appear to your peoples. The reason and purpose for this appearance is understood and either accepted or rejected. There have been as many as 15 of the Confederation entities in your skies at any one time, the others available to you through thought. At present, there are 7 which are operating with craft in your density. Their purposes are very simple: to allow those entities of your planet to become aware of infinity, which is often best expressed to the uninformed as the mysterious or unknown.
You didn't allow one of these other chakras to pay attention to a miscellaneous area, and then once you center your solar plexus again, you start to realize you have lost yourself. And then a lot of times we take our solar plexus and lose it into other individuals, lose it into the world, lose it into these religions, lose it into these circumstances, lose it into these situations and things of that nature. And then for the most part, that's when we have to say things like we lost ourselves because we took our body of water, our spaceship, and then flew somewhere else we didn't belong in, but stayed there too long.
Question 6.26. Questioner, I am fully aware that you are primarily interested in disseminating information concerning the law of one. However, it is my judgment, and I could be wrong, that in order to disseminate this material it will be necessary to include questions such as the one I have just asked. If this is not the objective, then I could limit my questions to the application of the law of one. But I understand that at this time it is the objective to widely disseminate this material. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This perception is only slightly distorted in your learning. We wish you to proceed as you deem proper. That is your place. We, in giving this information, find our distortion of understanding of our purpose to be that not only of the offering of information, but the weighting of it according to our distorted perceptions of its relative importance.
Right.
Thus, you will find...
Yeah, why you asking stupid questions and shit?
Our statements, at times, to be those which imply that the question is unimportant. This is due to our perception that the given question is unimportant. Nevertheless, unless the question contains the potential for answer giving which may infringe upon free will, we offer our answers.
I can't tell you too much.
Question 6.28. Questioner, thank you very much. We do not want to overtire the instrument. We have gone considerably over our normal working time. Could you tell me what condition the instrument is in? Ra, the instrument is balanced due to your care. However, her physical vehicle is growing stiff. Question 6.29. Questioner, in that case perhaps we should continue at a later time. Ra, we shall agree. Therefore, unless you have a short question we will take our leave. Question 6.30. Questioner, the only question that I have is that I will assume that since Leonard was here when you first made contact that it is suitable for him to be here as well as Tom. Ra, this is correct and completes the number of those at this time able to come who are suitable. Again, remember the instructions given for the preparation of the vibratory sound complex, Tom. I am Ra. I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one creator. Adonai.
For too large periods of time, too many long periods of time and things of that nature. So our own body, our own temple, our own Bible became unfamiliar to a certain degree. And then that's when we come to these situations where we have to self-recollect again, self-reevaluate again, need time alone again, need space to ourselves again. And that's what we all need that. You know what I'm saying? And that's getting into our individuality back to our spirituality. And then once we get our own individuality, our own spirituality straight again, then that's when we can feel comfortable making ourselves amongst people again.
Use of service, all types of service, are available to the members of the Confederation. Answer, I am Ra. I am assuming that you intend the service which we of the Confederation can offer, rather than the service which is available to our use. The service available for our offering to those who call us is equivalent to the square of the distortion need of that calling divided by, or integrated with, the basic law of one in its distortion indicating the free will of those who are not aware of the unity of creation.
Triunion square.
Other individuals again. But you have a lot of individuals out here that do that recklessly because they're demons. So they may put themselves into situations where they can't even deal with themselves. So their selves is so unfamiliar that any inch of second or minute of alone time is going to be the most depressing time of their motherfucking life. So these be the individuals that call people like you 24/7 with all their fucking problems. These are people that you got in your life, family members and friends and co-workers that you got in your life. Every 24/7, every motherfucking corner that you motherfucking turn, that they need you to help them with some type of internal energies. But when you get into that space, the world is over.
Question 7.2. Questioner, from this, I am assuming that the difficulty that you have in contacting this planet at this time is the mixture of people here, some being aware of the unity, and some not, and for this reason you cannot come openly or give proof of your contact. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. As we just repeated through this instrument, we must integrate all of the portions of your social memory complex in its illusory disintegration form. Then, the product of this can be seen as the limit of our ability to serve.
Okay. So let's see how it sounds.
Yeah, they can't help you with shit. And you the bad person the moment you even put them in that position or put that responsibility on them. So then it makes you feel alone even when you amongst them around other motherfuckers and things of that nature. Thank you so much for the donation, Angela. And that's when you know you have accumulated a lot of these individuals who they done separated themselves so much and mixed themselves amongst the world and other individuals' waters. They don't even know themselves anymore. So they would be an esoteric parasite and vampire towards you and drink you dry just to feel like they are something and to know themselves in any way, shape, or form. So we got to be careful out here with individuals like that also. You know what I'm saying?
Spiritual vampires.
We are fortunate that the law of service squares the desires of those who call. Otherwise, we would have no beingness in this time-space at this present continuum of the illusion. In short, you are basically correct. The thought of not being able is not a part of our basic thought form complex towards your peoples, but rather it is a maximal consideration of what is possible. Question 7.3. Questioner, by squared, do you mean that if 10 people call you can count that when comparing it to the planetary ratio as 100 people, squaring 10 and getting 100? Answer, I am wrong. This is incorrect. The square is sequential 1, 2, 3, 4, each squared by the next number. Question 7.4. Questioner, if only 10 entities on Earth required your services, how would you compute their calling by using this square method? Answer, I am Ra.
I'm saying these are individuals who haven't did any self-evaluation, so they probably don't even believe in any spirit. They probably don't even believe in anything you are into and things of that nature. But yet they just need your attention so they can have some sense of positioning in this world. Thank you so much for the donation, Angela. You said I appreciate you. I appreciate you also. You better believe it.
We would square 110 sequential times, raising the number to the 10th square. Question 7.5. Questioner, what would be the result of this calculation? Answer, I am Ra. The result is difficult to transmit. It is 1012, approximately. The entities who call are sometimes not totally unified in their calling and, thus, the squaring slightly less. Thus, there is a statistical loss over a period of call. However, perhaps you may see by this statistically corrected information the squaring mechanism.
See.
You said majority having these energies and NATO is the positive transformation. Right. We got to make sure we stay above the current. I even found myself being washed up under the current a little bit. So I had to sit back and be like, hold on, damn. I'm doing emotional explosions right now. Let me sit my ass back. And I didn't even start the right way yesterday. And I still was a little bit sick and shit. Anyway, I'm a little bit better now. And I don't like to be in negative energy or sick doing people's readings. So I just went on ahead and rest and uploaded a video and things of that nature. But everybody will have a motherfucker reader today in this motherfucking shit.
Question 7.6. Questioner, about how many entities at present on planet Earth are calling for your services? Answer, I am Ra. I am called personally by 352,000. The Confederation, in its entire spectrum of entity complexes, is called by 632 million of your mind, body, spirit complexes. These numbers have been simplified. Question 7.7. Questioner, can you tell me what the result of the application of the law of squares is to those figures? Answer, I am Ra. The number is approximately meaningless in the finite sense as there are many, many digits. It, however, constitutes a great calling which we of all creation feel and hear as if our own entities were distorted towards a great and overwhelming sorrow. It demands our service.
Okay. Well, I do what I do and he do.
And, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, I want to start off on it because there's a lot of crazy energies going on. Like I've been talking about, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can see what I be talking about through everybody right now. Even when it comes into this motherfucking Jezebel and this gigolo spirit right now. So on the gigolo side, you got these alpha males and you got these chosen ones with that wave. And then on this gigolo spell, on this with the Jezebel, right? You got these masculine ass females and these females that go away from emotions and just go straight towards the thoughts, go away from the feminine, and go straight to the masculine, the debate, the thinking, and think they can overthink. So you can see this being played out even with the Masons and the shadow government and things of that nature, where why all of a sudden now they want to present the case of two dead individuals like King Von and K.I.
Question 7.8. Questioner, at what point would this calling be great enough for you to come openly among the people on Earth? How many entities on Earth would have to call the Confederation? Answer, I am Ra. We do not calculate the possibility of coming among your peoples by the numbers of calling, but by a consensus among an entire societal memory complex which has become aware of the infinite consciousness of all things. This has been possible among your peoples only in isolated instances. In the case wherein a social memory complex which is a servant of the Creator sees this situation and has an idea for the appropriate aid which could only be done among your peoples, the social memory complex desiring this project lays it before the Council of Saturn. If it is approved, quarantine is lifted.
Quarantine is lifted? Oh.
And like I said, I was the first, I don't even want to say the first one, I hate even talking like that. But remember when I brought up, this little spell that been hanging around Lil Durk for years now. And it's the reason Shot the Star, la, la, la. The reason he's in the position he's in because he's catering to a certain energy. And since he's from Chicago, that's where a lot of that Masonic force field and those bridges and the shit that's under the spell of the bridges and shit.
And let me tell you a story about what you're talking about. And it's strange, because I never met this brother, he never met me. But the connection and how the information flow, I got to give him his props because the teaching goes. The information flows. The Masonic Bridge. Maywood is a Masonic city of eternal light. Fred Hampton, Judas and the Black Messiah, where they try to pop us at night. Ain't motherfucker ain't ride me around, Judas. Got me fucked up off reaching no cross. But anyway, and he knew about the schools I went to, Roosevelt. He even said, Woodruff. I went to all these motherfucking schools and I know exactly what he's talking about. And I got a buddy who was built off a Masonic man. And they made him, his father had ill knowledge and gave him ill knowledge, but he still had that other thing going, the gangbang thing going in the world. And we was going across a bridge, and he always told me representing a bridge is like the water, and under the water we got the cards, it's the bloodstream, and his name was Moon, aka Rest in Peace. And he was like, gee, you something else. I said, what you mean, Moon? What's up? Because he was like going to the mental ward. He had already cracked. They had already came to him and tried to give him information, but it was information overload. And they knew not to do that no more. But he was God body, but he cracked, But he didn't, he just his chakras weren't lined up for his expression to talk like this. So having all this in your mind, body, and soul, you knowing, but you can't express it right. It'll fuck you up, So he talking riddles. He said, "Po, you something different. You talk to me, right? Right. Yeah, I know, nigga, you my nigga. What's up? But you able to talk to me and talk to other people. Right. It ain't supposed to be like that. You supposed to look crazy, but you don't."
Question 7.9. Questioner, I have a question about that council. Who are the members and how does the council function? Answer, I am Ra. The members of the council are representatives from the Confederation and from those vibratory levels of your inner planes bearing responsibility for your third density. The names are not important because there are no names. Your mind, body, spirit complexes request names, and so, in many cases, the vibe.
Oh, he said no names, and I remember people be putting, Lightbulb said, let me get my props out what they do, that people will put spells on you through names. I already knew this, but I'm just explaining to him that, this is where he coming from, and that reminded me of something I already knew. And they spell with names, putting titles and words on certain situations and saying, call it by this name, call it by that name. And they say, how you pray, Profo, what you pray about? I don't pray to say, I pray to pray. I am the praying on the motherfucking situation. Now, I made this up. The flight boss said the truth. I'm just trying to tell you, like, it's still connected. It ain't, he can catch his ego, though. He said, I ain't going to be talking like who said who. We all in this together.
vibratory sound complexes which are consonant with the vibratory distortions of each entity are used. However, the name concept is not part of the council. If names are requested, we will attempt them. However, not all have chosen names.
Right.
In number, the council that sits in constant session, though varying in its members by means of balancing, which takes place, what you would call irregularly, is 9. That is the session council.
9.
To back up this council, there are 24 entities which offer their services as requested. These entities faithfully watch and have been called guardians. The council operates by means of what you would call telepathic contact with the oneness or unity of the 9. The distortions blending harmoniously so that the law of one prevails with ease.
Ooh.
When a need for thought is present, the council retains the distortion complex of this need, balancing it as described, and then recommends what it considers as appropriate action.
So Poe talking to Ra and
shit like that is migrating and things of that nature, because you know the bridges is only going over the urban neighborhoods in that area. Correct. And things of that nature.
Correct.
So for the most part, you know, all that energy is being catered. Now you have one individual who was signed to the Lil Durk, King Von, and then you have another individual that was energy was predominant in that area, the female, K.I. Now she was extra masculine, period. You know what I'm saying? She out killing niggas. And I'm going to say this right here. I don't even think King Von, even though the police saying that right now, I choose not to believe King Von was the actual trigger person that killed her.
They're killing that David energy. Under the gematria, King Von had the David energy. He needs to give back. So even in the sleepness, he was still woke. And they had to kill it. The Tupac energy came back. You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac say my name 3 times like Candy Man, better bomb on your ass like I am Berlin, soul survivor, learn to get high and pull drive-bys.
Even if he might have been around, he might have been shooting at him with him, but I don't believe he was the actual one.
And I don't know if he know why he's saying this. I think he do, but for that reason, we all kind of seen what type of brother King Von was. If he lived a bit longer, they say they called him the grandson. You know he had that his grandson, King David, righteousness, you know, 6-point style, that was both in the brother, you know, but the FBI, you know.
That killed her. You know what I'm saying? That's just not in my spirit.
I just wonder why.
So that's another flag. But then you get into the circumstance where you start to look at King Von in a gang, right? And boom, all this super motherfucker alpha energy and shit like that, right? Because that's a Mason. What people fail to realize is when they say all men is on the same level, that's a Mason energy also, based upon a little witchcraft and spells that they use when they first started to create guns.
Maywood was a city started off back in 20, we built tanks, big guns.
This includes 1. The duty of admitting social memory complexes to the Confederation. 2. Offering aid to those who are unsure how to aid the social memory complex, requesting aid in a way consonant with both the call, the law, and the number of those calling. That is to say, sometimes the resistance of the call. 3. Internal questions in the council are determined. These are the prominent duties of the council. They are, if in any doubt, able to contact the 24 who then offer consensus judgment thinking to the council. The council then may reconsider any question. Question 7.10. Questioner, you mentioned the 9 who sit on the council. Is this a circumflex euro or 9 a circumflex euro, the same 9 as those mentioned in this book? Questioner gestures to Yuri. Answer, I am Ra. The Council of 9 has been retained in semi-distorted form by 2 main sources, that known in your naming as Mark and that known in your naming as Henry. In one case, the channel became described. In the other, the channel was not described. However, without the aid of the scribe, the energy would not have come to the channel. Question 7.11. Questioner, the
when
names
the
that you
Masons first started to build guns and things of that nature, it's a little spell that they use right now where they say all men is I forgot what their little prayer is, but it's in y'all amendment rights. But it's really something that they started when they started creating guns. But that's another video and shit like that. But look, you got him on that side. Then you got Matt, and rest in peace, both of them. You got masculine ass KI, right? Female, straight, lesbian, dyked out, killing niggas and shit like that, right? Now, why the FBI and them choose now to present this motherfucking story as if the hood probably didn't already know? But why do they feel the necessary need that the whole world need to know?
Said previously, their objective is to locate certain mind, body, spirit complexes which vibrate in resonance with their own vibrational complex, then to enslave the elite, as you may call those who are not of the Orion vibration. Question 8.15. Questioner, was the landing at Pascagoula in 1973 when Charlie Hickson was taken aboard this type of landing? Answer, I am Ra. The landing of which you speak was what you would call an anomaly. It was neither the Orion influence nor our peoples in thought form, but rather a planetary entity of your own vibration which came through quarantine in all innocence in a random landing. Question 8.16. Questioner, what did they do to Charlie Hickson when they took him on board? Answer, I am Ra. They used his mind, body, spirit complex as life experience, concentrating upon the experience of the complexes of what you call war. Question 8.17. Questioner, how did they use them? Answer, I am Ra. The use of experience is to learn. Consider a race who watches a movie. It experiences a story and identifies with the feelings, perceptions, and experiences of the hero.
Wow, the TV, the hologram.
Question 8.18. Questioner, was Charlie Hickson originally of the same social memory complex of the ones who picked him up? Answer, I am Ra. This entity of vibratory sound complex did not have a connection with those who used him. Question 8.19. Questioner, did those who used him use his war experiences to learn more of the law of one? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 8.20. Questioner, did the entities who picked him up have their normal configuration? His description of them was rather unusual. Answer, I am Ra. The configuration of their beings is their normal configuration. The unusualness is not remarkable. We ourselves, when we chose a mission among your peoples, needed to study your peoples, for had we arrived in no other form than our own, we would have been perceived as light.
See, this is what we start to talk about: irresponsible ass, old ass, and that's what we're gonna get into in the live stream tonight. What the shadow government doing right now? I'm gonna be real choosy on my words, so we're gonna play a little game of reverse psychology. So therefore, they can't say I'm the one saying that I'm telling people don't take. Look, I'm not no health. Well, I ain't about to say that. I'm not no health anything. I'm about to talk about everything the news told us, and the false information of news. So therefore, we ain't talking about pharmaceutical nothing.
To you that these entities would not have used the mind, body, spirit complex, Charlie, except for the resolve of this entity before incarnation to be of service. Question 8.22. Questioner, what was the home or origin of the entities who picked up Charlie? Answer, I am Ra. These entities are of the Sirius galaxy. Question 8.23. Questioner, the most startling information that you have given me, which I must admit that I'm having difficulty believing, is that the United States has 573 craft of the type which you described. How many people of United States designation are aware of these craft, including those who operate them? Answer, I am Ra. The number of your peoples varies, for the Ra needs to communicate at this particular time-space nexus so that the number is expanding at this time. The approximate number is 1,500. It is only approximate, for as your illusory time-space continuum moves from present to present at this nexus, many are learning. Question 8.24. Questioner, where are these craft constructed? Ra, these craft are constructed one by one in two locations, in the desert or arid regions of your so-called New Mexico and in the desert or arid regions of your so-called Mexico, both in. Answer, I am Ra. They are controlled by computer from a remote source of data. Question 8.29. Questioner, why do we have a plant in Mexico? Answer, I am Ra. The necessity is both for dryness of the ground and for a near total lack of population. Therefore, your so-called government and the so-called government of your neighboring geographical vicinity arranged for an underground installation. Question 8.31. Questioner, would it be possible for any of us to have contact with the Confederation in a more direct way? Answer, I am Ra. In observing the distortions of those who underwent this experiential sequence, we decided to gradually back off, shall I say, from direct contact in thought form. The least distortion seems to be available in mind-to-mind communication. Therefore, the request to be taken aboard is not one we care to comply with. You are most valuable in your present orientation.
Embody. You know what I'm saying? This shit is getting deep right now. We need to stop paying attention to that shit and allow them to bury them fucking sails. But we're going to get into that tonight. Thank you so much for the donation for your Evolution Terror. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You better believe it. I just recently read an article on Elon Musk's interview stating that he wants more people to have sex as the population is declining everywhere. And that is his reverse psychology. So now they want us to go against the law to do that. So now we got to go against social distancing. They about to do this mask mandate again. They about to do all this other stuff again. Now he about to be a fake hero and do everything the same way how they had Trump tell all those people to go motherfucking protest for them people to get hurt, them old ass people to get hurt. It's all reverse psychology. They think they slick, but they've been doing this for a long time. They've been doing it so they put faces for us in front of us for us to cheer for on DJ Academics page and all these other and shout out to DJ Academics. He ain't no problem. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying, anybody who report. But then when we look at the comments, that be the comment sheet, the comment.
Some of the practices or exercises to perform to produce an acceleration toward the law of one. Answer, I am Ra. Exercise 1. This is the most nearly centered and usable within your illusion complex. The moment contains love. That is the lesson goal of this illusion or density. The exercise is to consciously see that love in awareness and understanding distortions. The first attempt is the cornerstone. Upon this choosing rests the remainder of the life experience of an entity.
The cornerstone the builders rejected.
The second seeking of love within the moment begins the addition. The third seeking empowers the second, the fourth powering or doubling the third. As with the previous type of empowerment, there will be some loss of power due to flaws within the seeking and the distortion of insincerity. However, the conscious statement of self to self of the desire to seek love is so central an act of will that, as before, the loss of power due to this friction is inconsequential. Exercise 2. The universe is one being.
Current ancestors. And we can look at your great-great-grandma, your great-great-uncle, you see how they wasn't living nothing. They was 2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches away from slavery. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for you to remember who the fuck you was. And remember that you was here all these motherfucking times. Thank you so much for the donation, Sean Shine. Because it don't matter what situation you in. You come to your own conclusion. You got to get off your own ass. And you the one got to get up and do something.
When a mind, body, spirit complex views another mind, body, spirit complex, see the creator. This is a helpful exercise. Exercise 3. Gaze within a mirror. Now. See the creator.
See the creator.
Exercise 4. Gaze at the creation which lies about the mind, body, spirit complex of each entity.
The dawn or the horizon.
See the creator.
Or the hawk fly.
The foundation or prerequisite of these exercises is a predilection towards what may be called meditation, contemplation, or prayer. With this attitude, these exercises can be processed. Without it, the data will not sink down into the roots of the tree of mind, thus enabling and ennobling the body and touching the spirit.
Meaning is, give an example, you want to pass a test, you want to know anything, download, read before you go to sleep, you're going to feel it in your soul when you wake up, boy, it's going to sound like this.
So, who power was that? And I'm going to tell you this, God and goddesses out here, I follow spiritual predecessors. I don't even like to use that term. They only help those who help themselves. They do not like motherfuckers who sit around and pray on shit and got a whole bunch of stones and symbols and shit like that quote unquote supposed to represent them, knowing damn well these Masons created these motherfucking signs and symbols.
Question 10.15. Questioner, I was wondering about the advent of the civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria, when these civilizations occurred, and where did they come from? Answer, I am Ra. This is the last question of this working. The civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria were not one but two. Let us look first at the new entities. They were beings of a somewhat primitive nature, but those who had very advanced spiritual distortions. The civilization was part of this cycle, experienced early within the cycle at a time of approximately 53,000 of your years ago. It was an helpful and harmless place which was washed beneath the ocean during a readjustment of your sphere's tectonic plates through no action of their own. They sent out those who survived and reached many places in what you call Russia, North America, and South America. The Indians of whom you come to feel some sympathy in your social complex distortions are the descendants of these entities.
Indians, we're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers want you to connect with them internally. And whatever symbol your ass created is something that they can resonate with. It's something they can get with. And they're going to make sure whatever you created got all the motherfucking power it got in the world. Not no chosen one shit. Not no other motherfucking shit. Some shit you chose.
Like the other incarnates of this cycle, they came from elsewhere. However, these particular entities were largely from a second density planet which had some difficulty, due to the age of its sun, in achieving third density life conditions. This planet was from the galaxy Dem. The Atlantean race was a very conglomerate social complex which began to form approximately 31,000 years in the past of your space-time continuum illusion. It was a slow-growing and very agrarian one until approximately 15,000 of your years ago. It reached quickly a high technological understanding which caused it to be able to use intelligent infinity in an informative manner. We may add that they used intelligent energy as well, manipulating greatly the natural influxes of the indigo or pioneer ray from divine or infinite energy. Thus, they were able to create life forms. This they began to do instead of healing and perfecting their own mind, body, spirit complexes, turning their distortions towards what you may call negative.
Some shit you manifested. Some shit you created. They gonna look at that motherfucking shit like that's hard. That's some shit I would have did if I was down there, cause I ain't like the government either. That's some shit I would have did when I was down there, because I ain't give a fuck about whatever my ancestors quote unquote did or didn't do either, cause I was going through it. That's some shit I would have did too down there, motherfucker, cause ain't nobody chose me, so I had to chose my motherfucking self.
Approximately 11,000 of your years ago, the first of the, what you call, wars, caused approximately 40% of this population to leave the density by means of disintegration of the body. The second most devastating of the conflicts occurred approximately 10,821 years in the past according to your illusion. This created an earth-changing configuration and a large part of Atlantis was no more, having been inundated. 3 of the positively oriented of the Atlantean groups left this geographical locus before that devastation, placing themselves in the mountain areas of what you call Tibet, what you call Peru, and what you call Turkey. Do you have any brief questions before we close this meeting? Question 10.16. Questioner, only one, other than what we can do to make the instrument more comfortable. I would like to have your definition of galaxy, the word galaxy as you have used it. Answer, I am Ra. We use the term known to your people by the sound vibration galaxy. We accept that some galaxies contain one system of planetary and solar groups. Others contain several. However, the importance of the locus in infinite time-space dimensionality is so little that we accept the distortion implicit in such an ambiguous term. Question 10.17. Questioner, then the 9 planets and the sun which we have here in our system, would you refer to that as a galaxy? Answer, I am Ra. We would not. Question 10.18. Questioner, how many stars would be approximately in a galaxy? Answer, I am Ra. It depends upon the galactic system. Your own, as you know, contains many, many millions of planetary entities and star bodies.
You know how much power you will get? You know how much motherfucking energy, you know how much depression you will get out of. You won't be in no depression energy. They'll be putting you into smiling energy and like, damn, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow. I got some other shit I want to express. I got some other shit I want to explain. I got some other shit I want to create. I got some other thing I need to see. They gonna take you on a whole trail and mission of shit that they ain't get to experience down here, and they can experience through nobody but you.
I am Ra. This matter is of small importance, for our suggestion was made for the purpose of establishing contact through this instrument with this group. Question 11.2. Questioner, is it of any assistance to the instrument to have name and name present during these sessions? Does the number in the group make any difference in these sessions? Complex, Moldek, had in common with your own sphere the situation of a mixture of energy direction. Thus it, though unknown, would most probably have been a mixed harvest, a few moving to fourth density, a few moving towards fourth density in service to self, the great majority repeating third density. This is approximate due to the fact that parallel possibility probability vortices cease when action occurs and new probability possibility vortices are begun.
And everybody who's down here awake in a body as spirits can see some spiritual shit that just did some shit in some motherfucking miraculous ways. And that's it. That's all. That's how you get your power. All that other motherfucking shit is for the fucking birds. You doing some shit that we've been doing for 2,000 years, and that shit still ain't work. And these motherfuckers know the human psyche. They know how to play that mind game on you. They be like, oh, they don't know how to make their own golem. Let's give them another one. Oh.
Question 11.4. Questioner, is there a planet opposite our sun, in relation to us, that we do not know about? Answer, I am Ra. There is a sphere in the area opposite your sun of a very, very cold nature, but large enough to skew certain statistical figures. This sphere should not properly be called a planet as it is locked in first density. Question 11.5. Questioner, you say that entities from Moldek might go to fourth density negative. Are there people who go out of our present third density to places in the universe and serve, which are fourth density self-service negative type of planets?
500 years about to pass, let's give them another one. 500 other years about to pass, let's give them another one. And before you know it, they done ruled about 2,000, 3,000 years. God damn it, what the fuck?
Answer, I am Ra. Your question is unclear. Please restate. Question 11.6. Questioner, as our cycle ends and graduation occurs, is it possible for anyone to go from our third density to a fourth density planet that is of a self-service or negative type? Answer, I am Ra. We grasp now the specificity of your query. In this harvest, the probability-possibility vortex is an harvest, though small, of this type. That is correct.
When you gonna realize it's what you do, not what they do. Let me repeat. When you gonna realize it's what you do, not what they do. Let me repeat. 3 times the charm. Anytime you bring 3 dot forms together and add 3 feelings together, you create a double triangle. The 2 triangles, right? And you create a golem. Shout out to Max Bigger Vale. He was Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls, and Tupac all in one. He didn't even have to sound that good, quality-wise and anything of that nature. Just a character. When you create a character, this what motherfucker Shakespeare, the dude created Shakespeare. This what all them been doing. This what the Shadow Government been doing. Jubilon, Abaddon, Abraham. You see the pattern?
Question 11.7. Questioner, can you tell us what happened to Adolf Hitler? Answer, I am Ra. The mind, body, spirit complex known as Adolf is at this time in an healing process in the middle astral planes of your spherical force field. This entity was greatly confused and, although aware of the circumstance of change in vibratory level associated with the cessation of the chemical body complex, nevertheless, needed a great deal of care. Question 11.8. Questioner, is there anyone in our history who is commonly known who went to a fourth density self-service or negative type of planet, or any who will go there? Answer, I am Ra. The number of entities thus harvested is small. However, a few have penetrated the 8th level, which is only available from the opening up of the 7th through the 6th.
Your habits in some way, shape, or form. You might be in some type of situation where you're stuck in something feels too good or something's too depressing, however the situation may be, you might not want to get out of it, so you might need to create a situation where you need to transform your Venus energies, the people, places, and things that you love, appreciate, value, or willing to compromise with. And if you do too much compromising, that's you not doing things in moderation. It's going to turn into a bad habit or overindulging into something.
Penetration into the 8th or intelligent infinity level allows a mind, body, spirit complex to be harvested if it wishes at any time space during the cycle. Question 11.9. Questioner, are any of these people known in the history of our planet by name? Answer, I am Ra. We will mention a few. The one known as Taras Bulba, the one known as Genghis Khan, the one known as Rasputin. Question.
Also, you got Mars squaring Uranus. Learning how to change your passions and anger moments. So for the most part, we all need to learn how to change what we get angry about at the moment. Because if you're not learning how to change what you get angry about at the moment, you will place yourself into a situation where you allow the external world to make your blood boil, and then it's going to put you into a situation where you're going to start to sweat. And if you're in a situation where you allow the external world to make your blood boil, but you're not doing anything where you can work up a sweat, it's going to turn into tears, because for the most part, the sweat, the dissolve or the purification of your blood don't have a sufficient way to escape. So it's going to play out as pain in certain areas, aka tears and mucus and shit like that. And therefore, you don't want nobody to put you in that kind of situation right now where they can just get your blood boiling, but you a lazy motherfucker who just sit down on the couch all motherfucking day. You just going to develop shit to cry about. You know what I'm saying?
Question 11.10. Questioner, how did they accomplish this? What was necessary for them to accomplish this? Answer, I am Ra. All of the aforementioned entities were aware, through memory, of Atlantean understandings having to do with the use of the various centers of mind, body, spirit complex energy influx in attaining the gateway to intelligent infinity. Question 11.11. Questioner, did this enable them to do what we refer to as magic? Could they do paranormal things while they were incarnate? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. The first two entities mentioned made little use of these abilities consciously. However, they were bent single-mindedly upon service to self, sparing no efforts in personal discipline to double, redouble and so empower this gateway. The third was a conscious adept and also spared no effort in the pursuit of service to self.
Go out and exercise. Go out and work up a sweat. You know what I'm saying? Or go wrap yourself up in like a cover or something like that. And until you get all that sweat out and shit like that, you're going to feel a lot better. Also, I'm going to do a video on that too, how to clear your blood out. Because a lot of times our blood flows in miscellaneous ways based upon the season, the ways the season is changing and things of that nature. Right? And your blood flow is how your nails grow, how your hair grow. You know what I'm saying? How you correlate, how you're able to think, how you're able to react and respond to the world that you are in and things of that nature. So this puts you into a circumstance where knowing how to manage your blood and knowing how to push things through when you're getting blood clots and shit like that, because y'all be getting these things in areas that is so minute, it's so micro that you're unaware this was going on.
Question 11.12. Questioner, where are these three entities now? Answer, I am Ra. These entities are in the dimension known to you as fourth. Therefore the space-time continue are not compatible. Approximation of the space-time locus of each would net no actual understanding. Each shows a fourth density planet which was dedicated to the pursuit of the understanding of the law of one through service to self, one in what you know as the Orion Group, one in what you know as Cassiopeia, one in what you know as Southern Cross. However, these loci are not satisfactory. We do not have vocabulary for the geometric calculations necessary for transfer of this understanding to you.
Come across as negative right now. So, you know, and then Cancers, y'all can come across as too extreme as emotional right now. Think that that the world revolves around the way you feel about something. So be careful of that also. Now, first house. Now, in the first house, right, you're going to have Cancer. So, in the first house, that means you got Cancer in the first house, right? So, you got the sun there, the moon going to be in your 5th, and Neptune going to be in your 9th house. So, that's that grand trine, right? So, the emotional explosion is going to come from your wisdom, your knowledge, your experiences, 9th house. The stuff you're entertaining at the moment, how you express yourself, your creative endeavors, 5th house. And it's going to be expressed through your personality. You're going to see it through a personal person, place, or thing that you know. You know what I'm saying? Or it's going to be a personal mood that you in. Something that you're in personally, because it's your first house. So that's where the energies of emotional explosion going to come out. Or dealing with somebody in your personal life. Now, what's going to trigger that is the moon being in the 5th, Saturn being in the 8th, Mars being in the 2nd, Uranus being in your 11th house. That's where this grand square at in your energies, in your life. So this is what's triggering it, right? First of all, the moon again. The way people expressing themselves or how you express yourself or what you're entertaining at the moment. Be careful that you're not entertaining bullshit. The reality of what's going on behind closed doors that other people don't know about.
Question 11.13. Questioner, who went to the Orion group? Answer, I am Ra, the one known as Genghis Khan. Question 11.14. Questioner, what does he presently do there? What is his job or occupation? Answer, I am Ra. This entity serves the Creator in its own way. Question 11.15. Questioner, is it impossible for you to tell us precisely how he does this service? Answer, I am Ra. It is possible for us to speak to this query. However, we use any chance we may have to reiterate the basic understanding learning that all beings serve the Creator. The one you speak of as Genghis Khan at present is incarnate in a physical light body which has the work of disseminating material of thought control to those who are what you may call crusaders. He is, as you would term this entity, a shipping clerk.
Saturn in your 8th house, right? Might be some secrets, there might be some shit going around, some expose energy, right? That's frustrating you right now. Like, how dare this motherfucker gonna try to expose me? Or you might feel like you gotta expose somebody. Mars in the 2nd house. Mars don't even like to be here, but a whole bunch of passions and motivations and desires towards values or planting seeds. So you might be getting too money hungry or being too materialistic or being too gun-ho or overwhelming over somebody that you value at the moment. You see what I'm saying? And you're putting too much chips in one basket. You might be in that energy. Or in Uranus in the 11th house. A lot of changes and a lot of uniqueness and original rebellion energy is going on when it comes to your associations and the people that you're dealing with.
Question 11.16. Questioner, what do the Crusaders do? Answer, I am Ra. The Crusaders move in their chariots to conquer planetary mind, body, spirit social complexes before they reach the stage of achieving social memory. Question 11.17. Questioner, at what stage does a planet achieve social memory?
All that might be frustrating you right now for you to go through an emotional explosion when it comes to you, how you feel personally, how you express yourself, and things you have experienced and your wisdom that you have became knowledgeable of at the moment. Due to the fact of this grand trine being in your 1st, 5th, and 9th house. Are y'all get it? Y'all stand with me? That's the 1st house person. That's the 1st house person.
Answer, I am Ra. A mind, body, spirit social complex becomes a social memory complex when its entire group of entities are of one orientation or seeking. The group memory lost to the individuals in the roots of the tree of mind then becomes known to the social complex, thus creating a social memory complex. The advantages of this complex are the relative lack of distortion in understanding the social beingness and the relative lack of distortion in pursuing the direction of seeking. For all understanding, distortions are available to the entities of the society.
Now we get into the 2nd house person. If you got Cancer in the 2nd house. The astrology is deep. It's a whole loop system. The transits ain't just simple. All right, now look. Now, 2nd house Cancer, right? Now, you got the sun in the 2nd house. The moon is Scorpio in the 6th house. and Neptune in Pisces in the 10th house. So here's where your emotional explosion is going to be coming from. It's coming from these areas. You got this gift to see these things coming from the things that you value. People, places, and things that you value, or them not giving you the same kind of energy. Second house, moon in the 6th house, you feeling uncomfortable at work or dealing with your responsibilities at the moment, whether that's children or things you do on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? Brushing your teeth in the morning may frustrate you right now.
Those then upon the planetary sphere act much as view to disseminate the attitudes and philosophy of their particular understanding of the law of one, which is service to self. These become the elite. Through these, the attempt begins to create a condition whereby the remainder of the planetary entities are enslaved by their free will. Question 11.19. Questioner, can you name any names that may be known on the planet that are recipients of the Crusaders' efforts? Answer, I am Ra. I am desirous of being in non-violation of the free will distortion. To name those involved in the future of your space-time is to infringe, thus, we withhold this information. We request your contemplation of the fruits of the actions of those entities whom you may observe enjoying the distortion towards power. In this way you may discern for yourself this information. We shall not interfere with the, shall we say, planetary game. It is not central to the harvest. Question 11.20. Questioner, how do the Crusaders pass on their concepts to the individuals on Earth? Answer, I am Ra. There are two main ways, just as there are two main ways of, shall we say, polarizing towards service to others. There are those mind, body, spirit complexes upon your plane who do exercises and perform disciplines in order to seek contact with sources of information and power leading to the opening of the gate to intelligent infinity. There are others whose vibratory complex is such that this gateway is opened in contact with total service to self, with its primal distortion of manipulation of others is then afforded with little or no difficulty, no training, and no control.
Right? So you're going to have the sun in the 4th house, moon in the 8th house, Neptune in the 3rd house. Right? So all your emotional explosions is going to come from your family, or how you feel about your family, certain actions that you give towards them because you feel like you're not being secured in a certain area, right? Shit behind closed doors. You may have this internal desire to do that now because moon don't even like to be in the 8th house. So you might have certain hidden agendas and feelings and shit like that motherfuckers don't even know about, and you building this internal passion or courage or desire to express that shit, aka bring that from ashes to dust, and make that rise to be a phoenix again. That's why once upon a time the Scorpio sign was the eagle.
Question 11.21. Questioner, what type of information is passed on from the Crusaders to these people? Answer, I am Ra. The Orion group passes on information concerning the law at one with the orientation of service to self.
Psychopath.
The information can become technical just as some in the Confederation, in attempts to aid this planet in service to others, have provided what you would call technical information. The technology provided by this group is in the form of various means of control or manipulation of others to serve the self.